No.
This is something like the way we used to do it back in the days. You just like grab the record and do a little like... First, a lot of people thought it was going to be crazy. They said, what's this type of music you're making? What's this hippity-hoppity stuff? This is our sound. I just hope that they remember where it came from. I like that. Get down. I can't walk, don't stop, rockin' to the rhythm, 'cause I get down, 'cause I get down, 'cause I get down. Yeah, the beginnings of rap go way back to the mid-'70s, when street gangs in the Bronx got tired of beating each other down and breaking heads and decided to channel that energy into something more creative. That began a battle for musical supremacy.
Everybody, somebody, say ho!
First day I gave a party, a big super party, was 1975 in Bronx River Center, and I didn't have to worry about packing it up because all the street gangs was all part of my family. So once the word was out, all the gangs came. And from then on, the birth of hip-hop was born in the Southeast Bronx.
1, 2, 3, 4, get it!
It's called breakdancing. For breakers like Chino Lopez, it's made violence on the streets obsolete.
Yeah, there was a lot of fighting, and the kids started figuring out, we don't need this anymore. That's no good, Let's do something worthwhile. Let's dance.
And dance they did. Chino's crew, the New York City Breakers, is one group turning this territorial show of strength into an American dance sensation.
Before it turns into gang violence.
Everybody here got problems. We're from the Bronx and all that's not easy. We've all been in trouble before.
In the brownstone jungles where they live, there is only one thing that's as inevitable as street gangs, and that's music. A few groups, like the Floor Masters, have discovered that when you put the music and the street gangs together, something very different happens. The biggest difference is that with this revolution, nobody goes to jail.
In the 1970s, in the South Bronx, instead of fighting, dudes used to break against each other. And it's a combination of martial arts, ballet, and, and
acrobatics.
Yeah, that's true. Like, sometimes we feel like hitting something or hitting someone. Instead of hitting somebody, we would just break and do head spin and get our anger out, you know what I mean? Now that we break, we're not into trouble.
Who is number one?
Dynamic!
Now let's go off for this.
Victor Alicia Jr. is head of another group, the Dynamic Rockers. Groups like the Floor Masters and Rockers are strictly territorial. And when it's time for a challenge, they arrange to meet on neutral ground. Tonight, it's a club called the United States of America. The sole arbiters of who's won will be the spectators. The Dynamic Rockers are going first with the incomparable Mr. Glide.
The rule of challenge is that each group must outdo the other's last routine.
The king of the beat's gonna rock the place.
A young minister at Malcolm X's mosque in New York City, a man named Clarence X, broke with the Nation of Islam. He changed his name to Allah and took his less austere vision of Islam directly to young people in Harlem.
into the 7th dimension. Yes, witness my ascension to the heavens, right? Like Christ on the 3rd day. What? I'm nice with the wordplay. Master of all that I survey. Standing on my square, firm, grab the germ, trying to shake my foundation. Shake the nation of gods of earth's birthed by the Father. If he didn't love us, then why would he bother?
The Lord the Father, you know, always stressed to us to save the babies, let the youth represent themselves. As far as Fox and Nation's influence on hip-hop,
we had the Supreme Team. We had Lord K1 from the Force MCs. Then we had the brother Born Unique from the Fresh 3 MCs. We had Just Ice.
Raheem with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5.
Then, of course, we had the God Rakim, who was a major influence on my life. Then we had brothers like Sir Abu, Positive K, Big Daddy Kane. Then you had Poor Righteous Teachers. Then you had Brand Nubian.
Lakim Shabazz.
You have even Busta Rhymes, King Son.
You got people like Roxanne Shante and Roxanne. She said, you think you a god, but you do he lie.
Of course, the entire Wu-Tang Clan. And we have been ingrained in the fabric of hip-hop since the beginning. Since back in the days of Cold Crush and Grandmaster Flash and all that. The gods were there.
When they started rapping and getting popular in the parks, the gods used to be influential even with them in the early days.
When you hear people saying peace in hip-hop, that's started from the gods.
Word up. Drop that sign, so blow the spot up. You know, as we say, he dropped a bomb on him. We was dropping bombs. We was out there telling people, he dropped a bomb on him. You heard that guy?
When they talk about chilling in a b-boy stance and all this, chilling like this, a b-boy stance is actually comes from the gods standing in the truth of square. Okay, let me just demonstrate for you real quick. A truth of square is when you just stand there with your feet at a 45-degree angle and you standing right over left. The gods would be at the block parties standing in a truth of square, and then the 85s would see this and just think it's a cool way to stand.
The words is power. Have you not heard that the words should be bound regardless of whom or what? Words are power. That's a question that we ask in our lessons. Words is power. So when we use a word, we say that one word can change a nation.